Good evening, all. Gary Gabagool here. My boy Sal coming into some Purple Haze by the incredible Jimi Hendrix. Seattle.
Life is hazy right now, guys.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a mess. So
everything is a mess here. We have no furniture still, no nothing. So basically, Sal and I, this is the first show coming from FLA.
Yes,
and
from our new home, baby, Palm Harbor.
I know you people up north are going to curse us out for saying this, but today was 63. It was a little chilly here, I'm told, and tonight's going to go down to 43.
I mean, I was legit. I mean, look at me. I'm in a sweater.
Yeah, it was cold. I got goosebumps today.
I think I'm wearing the same exact thing I wore last podcast, but whatever.
So I think what's happening is, maybe this is old age, but I think my blood in 5 days is thinned out to the point of where 60 degrees is making me cold.
Oh, it's chilly.
Yeah, it's chilly. It's windy.
Man.
But don't fret. I think it's supposed to get warm up the next up to like 75, 80. So
yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good by the weekend, guys. Don't worry about us.
So yeah, we'll be getting the. So, but by the way, for all our friends up north in our old Jersey and New York stomping grounds, I heard you guys had a rough go. We were leaving, so I hope everyone there is okay. I hope you had your power. I hope.
Listen, they escaped it. I was still there.
Yeah.
So I witnessed everything.
Yeah, I hope your trees. I know back home we had some issues with some trees going down, so we're still dealing with that. But I just hope everyone's okay, and our best wishes, because even though we're down here in Florida, our hearts are still in Jersey with all our friends and family up there. So we're just wishing you the best. But we want to get in today, and as Sal mentioned on his, I'm gonna let Sal get into it. Is America is making a lot of progress, even though these damn liberals and the media are just completely consumed with deceit, lies, and a false narrative and ideology that is becoming more and more evident every single day. And I'm going to pass over to Sal. You're going to do your thing.
I feel like they're doing it because they know, and the media is not, they're lying and deceitful. They're not stupid. They're not stupid at all. They're doing this because they know a good portion of the population's, you're morons. They're absolute morons.
Yeah.
So they know whatever they say, they'll believe, and then they're going to tell their other moron friends, and then they got about 30, 40 million morons on their side.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's what they keep doing this shit for.
I mean, it's almost mind-boggling when you hear people say some of the stuff they say. I just don't get it. And you want to know why people hate liberals, despise them. It's because you could say what you want about conservatives. Conservatives are never going to lecture you on something. I'll give you an example. They're never going to lecture you on, let's take a kind of a conservative, or let's say smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking is probably not good for anyone to do long term. It's probably not good to do. But any conservative out there is never going to lecture someone on smoking. It's a God-given right. It's choice. It's your ability to make an educated decision and do what you want to do.
The key word you just said there, choice.
Right.
Choice. The liberals don't want you to have a choice.
Right.
When you have a choice about something, like, why do you want to choose that?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you asking me that question, asshole? Right. Like, it's my freedom.
Right.
Why though? Why though?
No, it's. I think and that's why people hate liberals so much is, as long as you choose everything they think is good, everything's fine in their world. The minute you go against something that they don't agree with, then you become public enemy number one. And we've discussed this ad nauseum about they even turn like snakes on their own people and bite the hand. If you don't agree with them, they come right out against you, even if you're a liberal and even if you're a Democrat for that matter. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you fall upon. But I mean, like we gave you another example. Dianne Feinstein, they don't want to support her because in California, which in a weird way, as a conservative, you're like, oh, that's great. But when you hear the reason why, they're like, she's not far left enough. And Dianne Feinstein is one of the biggest nuts out there. So that just goes to tell you how off the rails the Democratic Party is. When you're saying something like Dianne Feinstein's not liberal enough, wow. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. It's
yeah, that's ridiculous.
There are no words.
Like, how ultra liberal do you? I saw like liberals now, or Democrats are starting to get a little bit head on their shoulders. Like, hey, let's call ourselves Democratic conservatives.
Right.
and then we'll get some votes that way. But that's only going to last for so long.
Well, that's a great point Sal brings up.
A lot of people are saying they can't hear it and that it's being interrupted. Although I can hear you and see you fine.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to keep going. The people who can't hear us and they're getting interrupted, we're sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're on, and
Okay.
I can hear every word you're saying.
It seems like everything's fine, so I don't know. We're not hearing anything here. But to Sal's point, the Pennsylvania election just came out, and I don't know who won yet. It was between a guy named, I think, something Connor Lamb and a dude named Rick Saccone. And it was very interesting, I found, because I don't know if this guy Connor Lamb, and there's no pun intended, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, or if he actually meant it. But he actually ran, as Sal mentioned earlier, as a Democratic conservative. And what he did was he came out against Nancy Pelosi and the establishment of the Democratic Party, which I find incredibly either smart or deceitful. So we're not sure what yet. And you got to find out. He's close to winning. I think they're basically dead even. Secondarily, he came pro-tariff, like President Trump suggested. He came pro-illegal alien, not pro-legal alien, pro-legal immigration reform, which President Trump said. He came up with like 5 or 6 conservative points. So I'm finding this kind of, I'm struggling with it because it's fishy. Because he also said that he will not vote along Democratic lines. He'll vote for the people. Now, the only thing is I did some research on this guy, Connor Lamb, and he's an ex-Marine, which doesn't mean everything, but it kind of means it could be that he has what?
Here, yeah, frozen.
Let me see. It's fucking Wi-Fi, I think, man.
No, our Wi-Fi's good.
I don't think our Wi-Fi is good. I think it sucks.
I think it's horrible, actually.
What they do?
It ended. We got killed.
What the fuck? How could this fucking be happening?
I knew we shouldn't. We should have just left it on the LTE and not gone to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I think get rid of the Wi-Fi then. Here. You know, you can just do that. Yeah, just get rid of it. We'll start from scratch again. We'll start. Now we're on fucking censorship, man. I'm telling you, we're getting censored.
That was brutal. Brutal.
We'll start from scratch. We'll start from the very beginning.
No, we got to keep going.
Okay.
Pick up where we left off.
Okay.
I'm going to post this one, and then we're going to redo. Keep going. We're still live on this one, so.
Okay.
So. Yeah. This is going to be the Red Podcast, 47 and a half.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We'll just pick it right up.
Okay, I will do. Just want to add something to that before we go.
Almost there.
They just tell people come back on.
I did. Okay. 5 times now.
All right, thank you.
No intro music. Ready?
Yep. We're back, guys, and I wasn't going to bring this up.
Sorry about that, guys.
Sorry about
Technical
that.
difficulties. We're back.
I wasn't going to bring this up, and I wasn't going to lead with this, but I'm going to now because we are being censored heavily on Facebook. They're cutting our feeds. They're delaying us, and
They're dropping people off of us.
Yeah.
And now you guys just got to witness it. So.
yeah, and it's happening all the time. And I don't know if we're being reported, and I don't know when we come on if there's an algorithm. I'm not sure, but the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but and this is something that has to do exactly what we're talking about, what Sal and I just witnessed, and all of you did. But in the UK, it's happening around the world, and yesterday I saw a woman on the UK who's a white Christian conservative. She mentioned all those people that we talked about, the guy Tommy, that we like. Yeah, he's awesome. A woman out there who actually has been pleading to Donald Trump for some help. But in England, think about this, people, and this is real. This is not fake. This is not something CNBC would talk about. This is real. In England, they are welcoming ISIS fighters into their nation, and they are basically arresting conservatives coming out against these people. When I heard this, I said it has to be fake. And then I heard the woman, and she said in England right now that white Christian conservatives are basically trying to become extinct. The government is trying to make them extinct. And if you think about this, people, not too long ago, England sent over Christian conservatives here to basically transition everyone who was either Indian or coming over to be Christians. And now they're doing the complete opposite, but much worse because they're doing it in basically Islam. And then another, and I was going to get Sal's opinion on this one. This was crazy. There's a dude out there named Will Johnson. He's a black dude. And he was at a Bernie rally, and he went live. And I watched this. It's not false. He was told by the police at a Bernie rally that if he was allowed to attend. Now, people, this was a free rally. No tickets, no entry fee, no invitation. Free rally. And he was told, because I think he was wearing a Trump shirt or Make America Great shirt, he was told that because there was a question and answer period, and he was told flat out that if he asked a question to Bernie, that he would be arrested. And I'm saying to myself, wait a second, that's got to be a joke. And then I witnessed 3 people who were Bernie supporters come up to him and antagonize him, basically trying to start a fight with him. And he kind of took a step back, and then his 2 buddies who were there kind of surrounded him and told the people to kind of get away from him. But when you start thinking about this, now, if that was me, I would have got arrested, because that is a huge civil lawsuit waiting to happen. Someone there will have their ass handed to them on a silver platter, because you are most definitely, that you're violating America's probably #1 freedom of speech.
Well, this is what yes, what we try to tell them. They want to silence you, and they want to take your weapons so that they can just get rid of you. You're expendable options to these people.
Yep.
The immigrants will come and do all the work. What the fuck do they need you for?
And if you think about it, that's exactly what Nazi Germany did, Mao's China did, Castro's Cuba.
Basically, where all of these people got genocided.
Exactly. First they silenced you, and then they remove your weapons. And think about this. And we're going to I have a big thing we'll discuss later about the whole NRA weapon thing, because it's putting a fire under my ass, because it's becoming quite scary about how this is all playing out.
Yeah, it's really.
So go ahead, you got anything.
I'm going to keep going with this foreign stuff. I always love starting with America, but I don't know if you guys noticed, Putin and Theresa May are going at it a little bit. Theresa May, or let's say Putin stopped all the British contract work there.
Okay.
He cut it all.
He cut it off.
So Theresa May countered by sending like 23 of the Russian diplomats back, and now there's like a little war of words and blah, 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 this and that. But after, I didn't know what you were going to say about the whole immigrants coming, like the ISIS fighters. It makes total sense. Like, they don't want anybody, even because Russia's obviously the biggest fighters, one of the biggest fighters against ISIS.
Yeah.
They don't want none of them people there. They'll really let Russia know what's happening there. No, kick them all out.
Right. England is, and
I mean, we kicked them all out of here too, but for different reasons.
Well, it goes back, and it almost goes back a little, I'd say less than a year, but it goes back to a conversation that my wife and I had on our honeymoon in St. Lucia with this wealthy British family.
Oh,
and
I love the story.
And I don't want to reiterate the story, but I go back and I think about that. Either they were so out of touch because they were very wealthy, and I think that was the case, but they thought there was no problems in England. And they were saying, my wife and I are like, wait a second. And now you hear stuff like this, and you hear stuff like the people we mentioned earlier who are out there as basically freedom fighters fighting against this scourge of Muslims that are coming in causing tons of problems.
Those people that you met in St. Lucia, that wealthy family from England, they must think you guys are Nostradamus. Like, how the hell could you have known what was going to happen?
Like, those people listen to CNN.
Right, and that is true. Like, or they listen to BBC. Yeah. But when they travel to the States a lot, and they were listening to CNN. And the one thing I gotta say, it was the age group range from the parents. The father was a very wealthy. I think he was like a wealthy computer guy. He sold some software or something, so he was wealthy. And his kids range from the age of probably the youngest being maybe 16, the oldest being 21, and their friends were there. But they spit out the CNN talking points verbatim, word for word.
Well, CNN, BBC,
yeah, they're both
basically
the
the same thing.
So when we kind of gave them a heads up, they had no clue what we were talking about. So I find it interesting now that their country is basically under fire, and the government is allowing it to happen. I think it's kind of and I hate to say this, and I want to get Sal's opinion on this, but right now it's gonna be weird because in 1776 we escaped Britain, or we did, but our ancestors, well, not even our ancestors,
our founding fathers,
yes. Exactly, our ancestors were in Italy, but our founding fathers escaped tyranny of England to come here and start a new country and colonies. And now think about this. Right now, England is under fire from radical Islam, and I think we are actually, or our liberals counterparts, are actually following England. If that makes any sense.
I understand where you're getting at. Yeah.
We're doing the opposite. Yeah. Now we're going back to following them because, well, not us personally, not us concerned, but the liberals. Liberals in America would love to have that model, and I just don't get it. I just don't see the end game. I cannot fathom why you would put people in danger in your own country. This is why people who are normal thinkers like us, the people we talk to on our podcast, the people we talk on Facebook, rational thinkers just go ballistically nuts and start cursing when you hear these idiots say we want more here. I don't see the benefit of it. I ask one question. A radical Islamist, what do they contribute to a society besides terror? Nothing. Matter of fact, they don't work. They got money. They get money from their jihad. They don't turn around and they don't bring benefit. Matter of fact, they have all these costs to society besides death. It's just ridiculous. I can't even debate this with a person and then they'll say, oh, they're not all of them, but there's a lot. 25% of them.
It's not all of it. Yeah. You're guilty by association now. Like, it's one of those things, like, until we can solve this problem, you can't do anything. I feel bad. I've had this conversation so many times with one of my best friends is my friend Rashid, lives in New York. He's a Muslim guy. Yep. He's not American. He's from South America. But we have this all the time because he's like, man, I can't do anything without people looking at me. Everyone thinks he looks Muslim. He's a big dude too. Yeah. He's like, man, I get all these dirty looks. It's scary. I was like, man, but he understands. Yeah. He's like, he understands that these rotten eggs ruined it for everyone. And it's just like,
and listen, every intelligence agency in the country, the world, and specifically our country, say that at least 25% of Muslims believe in some sort of radicalism. So whether you got the real crazy ones that are nuts that believe in jihad and killing, or you have the Sharia law ones, and then there's a portion of that don't want to be the guys who are actually the violent ones, but they're the ones who finance them. But if you're financing them, you got to put them in the umbrella or the pot. So that comes to about 25%. Now, 25% of America would be 60 to 70 million people. That's a lot of people. However, when you add up the Muslims around the world, it comes to about 350 million people. So that would be like one country like America plus 35 million being completely radical. And if you don't think that's a lot of people, then you need your fucking head examined. That's a lot of people. Oh my God. Not a lot of people. We got off on that tangent.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. All right. So we've been seeing all these firings going on. Tillerson gone. Today I saw that the FBI wants McCabe fired before he retires on Sunday because they don't want him to receive his benefits.
That's beautiful. That's news I heard all day.
I read that. I couldn't.
Why don't they just fire him?
I was like, what's his name has to fire him? The Attorney General Sessions.
Okay, Sessions got to fire him.
It's Sessions' job to fire him.
That is now. Here's what I'm gonna. Sal brings up a great point. Here's my thing. Now, just don't fire McCabe. Go right down the line. McCabe, Rosenstein, Strzok, Page, Weissman, Mueller, Comey. Well, Comey's gone. All of them.
They're all going to get off. Yep. Sessions is going to let him go. And then Trump's going to fire Sessions. And then there's going to be an investigation on Sessions. It's going to be some kind of madness. I hope not. That's so hypothetical.
Well,
I'm just
if the cave goes down, that's at least a good start.
Yeah.
At least.
I'm hoping so.
At least.
That would be great. This asshole shouldn't receive no benefit.
And or gotta go. There's so many. Right now, there's probably 12 to 15 people in the FBI, DOJ, and Brennan. He's gone too. But you got to start arresting these people. It's just so out there. It's unbelievable. The one thing that's been all over the news and all over is this whole thing with the school walkout.
Oh,
And
before you get started today, today was a school walkout for like the whole nation.
Yeah.
Who even noticed?
Yeah.
Who even know? Like, did now kids really realize that they actually have no say whatsoever in anything? Do they get it now? Like,
Yep.
Well, all right, go ahead.
No, there's a couple things, like a couple caveats to this story that when we were growing up, I say this all the time. We were growing up, teachers taught, students learned, Board of Education, made education policies, principals disciplined. That was the job of the education system in America. And quite frankly, I thought it worked great. I thought it worked really well. I didn't go to a private school. Many of my friends didn't. We went to basically, a high school where it wasn't thought of as being a top high school, but I loved where I went. I learned a lot. I thought my teachers were phenomenal. And that's from kindergarten all the way up to 12. Now, something interesting has happened. The teachers or the educational system in this country has been hijacked by the teachers union. And not only the teachers union, but their strings are being pulled, we find out. Of course, no surprise here, people, by George Soros. And last year, the teachers union gave $35 million in donations from their teachers across the country. It's a lot of money. Teachers don't make a ton of money. And 94% of those donations went to the Democratic Party. Now, why do you think that is, people?
You said 95?
94%. Yeah. Why do you think that is? That is absurd that it went to that one group. And basically because they were told. And here's another thing I'd like to tell you, all you teachers. I know, I'm not ragging on teachers. I know there's a lot of great teachers out there who are conservatives. I know you guys are afraid to speak up for losing your job, and I get it. I do get it. I see the stuff that goes out every day secretly, and who's promoting this. They went on with the school walkout thing. But your leaders of your unions are making tons of money, and they have an agenda, people. And at some point, you as a member of the teachers union or as groups have to get together and say enough. You got to band together and say, I'm sick of giving you all this money and going to places I don't want it to go. It's our money. It isn't your money. Just like our tax dollars. And, finally, it's got to come a point where you guys have to stand up. You have to form, and you have to say, no, I'm not giving my percent of my salary to this party, which is fraudulent and damaging our children. They're not there to teach anymore. They're there to indoctrinate and politicize every single thing.
Exactly.
And here's another thing, people, and I do not want to make light of one school shooting, not even one. One child dying is too many. And Sal will agree with me, everybody agrees. However, the narrative they are pushing out on the left is completely wrong. And here's a statistic that comes from the CDC. This is foolproof, people. This is facts. 312 million people live here in America. 312 million. Every year, there are 32,000 deaths by guns. 32,000. And I'm going to tell you something. That, in general, is not, like I said, one is too many, but in general, overall, that's not that bad. But here's the breakdown. 60% of those are suicides. So 19,200 are people picking up a weapon and blowing their head off. That's self-inflicted. So that goes out of the mix. You take that out. That has nothing to do with gun violence. Then you have 30% that are accidental, which is 3%, not 3%. Very small, minute. So I'm picking up a gun, cleaning it and firing it, and they died. That's 960. Then you have 44%, which are justified homicides. The person breaking into your home, stand your ground, you shoot them. Completely justified, completely cool. I would do it. Sal would do it. Anybody here would do it. Someone breaks in your home, you have a weapon, you warn them, then you shoot them. That's what that is. Then you have 33% homicides, 10,500, which are gang-related and crimes where people just went in with a gun to rob somebody, to kill somebody who they didn't like, and that's murder. So that doesn't include the numbers. Then you have a gun being killed is 1,712. And like I said before, one is too many. But what that comes to people is 0.0001. So it's 10, 100 with that. It's 1, 10, 100,000, 1 millionth.
Is that 10,000?
Okay, 10, 100, 10,000, 100.
No,
no, 1/100,000 of 1% of getting killed by a legal firearm here in New Jersey, just by that, like what happens. That is ludicrous. That this is what the teachers union is, and the liberal left and the media are portraying as gun violence. Like I said, we're not here to say a kid going into a gun is, shooting is, it's horrible, but it's not what they say it is, and they're making a much bigger issue of it than it is.
Yeah, they want to take legal guns. This is what they keep saying. Oh, they're assault weapon. It's a rifle. Anyway, they just want to take your guns. That's all they really want. They don't want them to have them. Want you to have them because they want them.
Right. It's incredibly dangerous. Yeah. This is one of our God-given rights here in this country. Do not give up your weapon for nothing. I mean, it is just insanity. And their goal and what they try to do now is they're trying to shame you to do so. And the fact of the matter is, when you have adults, grown-ass adults in an education system, board of eds, principals, vice principals, social workers, whatever the case may be, and they're telling children what to go home and tell their parents, or telling them what to do, that's unacceptable. Their job is to teach you, not to tell your children how to behave or what to think. And that's disgusting. And if you're a parent that lets that happen, shame on you, because you should never let that happen. No one should tell your children how to act socially except for you, and get their belief system completely fucked up to their belief system. A parent should be the only one to tell their children how to behave in that respect.
I agree.
Without a doubt. Yeah. That pisses me off big time. Because they know what they're doing. They know what they have. They have these minds that are clay. And they know how important. They spend a lot of time with these kids. Think about it.
You wouldn't believe some of the things I hear. Like, I got the privilege of training a guy much younger than me, to go into my job. And he's a great person, but his belief system and the things that he was saying, and I was just like, wow, they got him. He's a freaking white Italian kid. Well, He's guilty.
Well, and I'm going to get into that later.
He's guilty about racism. He's guilty. I'm like, what? I was like, did you perpetrate any of these horrible acts?
Right.
No, but the people with similar skin color of me might have, back 300 years. I was like, you feel guilty about? And
that's
he wouldn't
their job.
He wouldn't say certain words. He wouldn't do certain. I was like, wow, they got you, bro. They got you.
Yeah, and hopefully one day a kid like this will grow up and realize.
No, I told him. I set him straight many times.
Right.
Trust me. Like, if he was working, he's gonna work for me. He has to know.
In the pie of a 24-hour day, though, think about how much time. Say, we'll give, for example, we're gonna take a 10-year-old child. 8 hours or 9 hours, that child's sleeping. So now you have 15 hours left. That child goes to sleep, wakes up at 7 o'clock. They're in school by, say, 7:30, 8 o'clock. They're in school the next 8, 9 hours. So now on a sleeping 8 hours, 17, 3/4 of the day, they're either sleeping or they're in school. And the rest of the time they're with their friends and parents.
When I was little, a teacher broke it down, like that we're actually with other kids in school, like our age, and with them, I forget they did the breakdown of time, but so much more time than actually at home with our parents.
That's my point.
So they actually have the real influence over you, not your parents.
And they know that. They know that, and that's what they're playing on. And that's what makes me so sick to my stomach, because they're so despicable that they know they have these children with these like I said before, these minds that can be easily manipulated, and that's all they do all day. And then you have like this kid who's a 23-year-old kid coming out and telling Sal some stupid shit.
It's so funny. And he meant well. Trust me, he meant well. He was a good person.
I don't even know him, but yeah.
But then he came in like a greenhorn, man. Straight up, he told me guns were bad. He told me several other things that I just shot down immediately. And then after a while, he was like, "Oh, I guess you're right." So what? Logic is right now.
But think about this poor bastard at 23. But then think about the people who are my age. There's people that are my age that think like this fucking kid. And I'm saying, I mean, but this is what's going on because they've been indoctrinated for so long. And some of these people are probably my age, or I'm too young to be a hippie from the 60s. But,
and if you're listening, dude, I love you. You're a good guy.
Yeah,
no,
I'm sorry, but like the ones who are older than us are the hippies. They're the ones I argue with quite often. They're usually in their late 60s, early 70s. They're the hippies from the 60s who went to Woodstock and, peace, love, and everything. But they were the ones who sold out because everything they stand for today has nothing to do with peace, love, and understanding. It's completely radicalized to the left.
Like how do we become the greediest and screw people over as much as we can and type of society is what they became.
Without a doubt. They all became the corporate scumbags that did all that stuff.
And then we see Steve Paddock,
that
weirdo guy who shot Scalise.
Yep, they're the ones.
They're the hippies that didn't make it. That's from way back when I would say.
And they turned violent. But hippies were nothing about violence, but now they're all shooting people and saying, when you talk on Facebook with someone, we've had this on the Red podcast as well as a person on Facebook, they're threatening to fight me. It's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, I'll break your hip. Who are you fighting? You're a small
Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? But this is what I hear every day. They'll come shoot me, and I just laugh. But that's what goes on.
The next thing I got is funny, so I don't
know. Go ahead. I got some funny shit too. But go on.
I don't know if you guys remember this woman named Elizabeth Holmes. She was the founder and CEO of this company called Theranos. I don't know if you guys remember this.
I do not know her.
You don't remember Theranos or Elizabeth Holmes?
Oh, she stole a lot of money.
She
massive fraud.
Massive fraud, and defrauded $750 million, almost $1 billion, from her investors.
Well, for those who don't know, give us the heads up on Theranos.
Theranos was a blood testing company startup, and it was the startup that said they could find any disease, big or small, neurologically, and they could tell you what's going to happen to you in 30 years.
Right.
With this little pinprick, and boom.
Yeah, I remember.
And so people ate it up, and they said this is how they got it to sell. They said they had a defense contract with the Department of Defense. They already made $100 million, and that this is all just on the way up. This is before anybody knows about it. So they got their investors really hyped up. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. In actuality, they sent all their tests to a third-party testing site. Every one of them.
Holy shit, like Quest or something.
Yeah.
Which is garbage.
Garbage. If you guys don't remember, look up Elizabeth Holmes. She's actually psychologically insane. She dressed up like Steve Jobs because she wanted to be the female Steve Jobs. She dressed in all black with a turtleneck. Wow. And that's how she did all her interviews. She was real space Casey. But she was cute.
Okay.
So, of course, guys with a lot of money just ate up everything that she said.
Guys are such stuff.
Everything that she said. And she's just going to, I forget what court she's in, but she's going to jail for a long time. So
what did was she just living like this extravagant lifestyle? Like crazy?
Her net worth, guys, she built up, these people defrauded so much money, she got up to $3.4 billion net worth.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it all came crumbling down.
Was she just living large, like crazy large?
I'm just mentioning it now because she's finally going to be sentenced soon. And I just wanted to bring it back up because I know it'll slip people's mind about this, but if you look into it, it's one of the funnier stories that came out in the past decade. And you think in the technological era that we can't get away, someone couldn't get away with just lying.
Well, she had to be like a brilliant nut.
She was brilliant in that case, but also with the power of seduction, getting people to invest lots and lots of money into something that was
she just robbed them all.
She lied. No one even checked to see if she actually had a defense contract. They just believed her.
And let me tell you something. Quest does a real shitty job.
I'm not saying it was a third-party testing.
All third-party testing are not great. They're like mediocre at best, and they're pretty cheap. So she's charging all this money, and she's fucking pocketing it all.
Oh man, that was my massive fraud story.
Speaking of frauds, fraudulent women, I should say. I got to bring up Hillary Clinton because I don't know if you guys saw her in her moo over in India talking about white women. But before I mention her actual discussion she had over there in her speech, I found it ironic, and I thank you, Carla Caniglio, who sent it to me. But I found it ironic that you'll see Hillary Clinton in her moo with this weird looking hat. She's looking like she's wearing a garbage bag with like colored flowers on it. But when you look at that picture, there's something that's going to come immediately, and I don't know for those of you who have seen it. But there's going to be something that's going to strike you as immediately hypocritical. And she's walking, and what does she have around her? About 4 dudes with AK-47s all guarding her.
That's not right.
Yeah, so here she
They
is.
should only have pistols. Not even.
So here she is.
They can't conceal carry.
Right. So here she is going, in front of America or anywhere else in the world where anyone will give her a microphone and talking about gun control.
She's about to start talking at elementary schools.
Yeah, and she's got 4 guys with AK-47s, which basically should be banned, she said, protecting her fat ass. And so then I want to transition into her speech. And basically what she said in a nutshell, I'm not going to go into it too much because it was such a shitty speech, but she basically that white women in America, and this is what she told Indian people, but she also had to make sure she said that President Trump's agenda is racist against blacks in America.
And Indians.
And then she said, Indians looking for a job.
Yeah.
So she had to play the crowd favorite. She had to, since she was in India, she had to give a shout out to racism to the Indians. And
I like the way you guys smell.
yeah. And
No.
and listen, I think you guys make the best Slurpees that I've ever had in my life. And that's what Hillary
That's
said.
what she said.
But anyway, but she had to say that white women in America could not think for themselves, and they just voted for President Trump because their husbands and sons said so. Think about how diluted of a statement that is. First of all, she's insulting every white woman in America, big time. She's insulting the husbands and sons, white men as well, which she loves to do. And then she sits here and she has the audacity to actually go to a foreign country and talk badly about this. And then things come to mind like, why don't you ever blame yourself for your loss? Also, what were you, I'd like to know what Hillary, you were thinking when your husband was raping all these women,
Or at least
sodomizing them. I like to
having affairs with all these different women.
Who are you to judge anybody? You piece of shit.
I don't think any of those women were Indian.
No, none of them
So
are. Anyway,
I guess
so
they don't like the way they smell.
no, so that's all I really want to say about Hillary. I don't know if you have anything else. So.
Now, the next thing I have is about New Jersey. I don't know if we want to start bashing New Jersey just yet.
Okay.
I'll wait.
All right,
what else you got? I'll do it at the end.
Well, Sal mentioned something about the kid he worked with and his white guilt. There was a bunch of white guilt shit. And think about this, people. This is a true story. In New Orleans, and I don't know how to pronounce this restaurant. It's a weird spelling. Saartj. I don't even know if it's a word. Sarch? That's what Saartj. Anyway, it was a restaurant that an African ran in New Orleans. And when you went there to eat lunch, if you were a white person, the bill came. The bill was $12. They would stress heavily that their bill's $12, but we really would like you to pay $30. And if you pay $30, 18 will go to the blacks who are socially below you. And
We're going to take the money and give it to the blacks.
And
Bernie Sanders at his finest.
And this is for wealth inequality.
God, if I had a soundtrack, guys, that would be the part I just keep hitting so you can all hear it.
But and it's reported that 78% of white people did it. They paid $30 for lunch each. So if you were with a date, or you're with your wife or husband, or if you're with your son or daughter, or your buddy, and the bill came, it was $24, they would say, you got to pay $60. I would have laughed my ass off at this guy and said, not only am I not paying $60, I'm not giving your person a tip, and this sucked, and I'm getting the hell out of there.
That's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it, like he stole that idea from certain yoga studios.
Right.
Certain yogis, they're peace, love, earth, all that nonsense. But if they're really good, some of them will do their classes for free.
Okay.
And they'll say, if you guys really like taking the class, you love me as your teacher, just please donate whatever you can at the end of the class.
Yeah.
You don't got to pay for classes, just whatever you can get, $5, $10, whatever you think the class is worth to you, please just help donate. And a lot of people got successful doing that. Now this guy just seems to taking that idea and ruin it.
Well, he's out of business.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He closed on March 4th, which I was happily to hear about. But he says he wants to open up in Chicago, which is hilarious. But so I'm glad he's out of business. But I want to play along something else, and this is something that there's a common thread or a common theme going on with education, liberalism, Democrat. But I didn't know this university even existed. But there is a university in Pennsylvania called Indiana University. Not the Hoosier one, but Indiana University.
There's too many fake schools
Right.
in this country.
Well, this school costs $30,000 to $35,000 to go to. It's not
still
it's not cheap.
it's still a fraud. And
It's probably
Monmouth,
fraud.
Monmouth costs $47,000. That's
Right.
sucks. Like,
But they
oh wait, Monmouth's good if you have kids going
Yeah.
there.
But they suspended a student this past week who he had to take an elective course of some social justice issues or whatever, and he took it. And in the course, he was one of the only students that came out against white privilege and came out against not declaring more than 2 genders. So here's a kid who came out and said, "No, I don't believe in white privilege. You know, I'm paying for my own college or whatever he's doing."
Like
Like I did.
Like I had.
And secondarily, he said there's only 2 genders. There's male and female. There's no 3rd or 4th or 5th gender.
I've yet to see one.
Right. And he got suspended by the college, and they said he couldn't graduate. So I foresee a humongous lawsuit coming from this 21 or 22-year-old kid and/or his family. And I'm gonna tell you something. If the ACLU doesn't back this kid, which I thought they protect everybody's civil liberties, but these aren't liberal civil liberties. These are conservative civil liberties. So I want to see if they do the same thing, and I'd be interested.
Yeah. Did they come out for James the Mole?
Right,
Anybody
exactly.
like that?
That's my exact point. So if I was you, if you're listening out there, I don't even know your name. They didn't say your name. Go see the ACLU. And if they don't want to go see you, then you go see a kick-ass conservative lawyer. You got a great case because they basically shit on your civil rights and your freedom of speech, and you got a good case.
Yes. All right, I'm going to get into now. I'm sorry, Jersey guys, because I know you had to read it. You got a financial disaster really on the way. I mean, if there wasn't already a financial disaster in New Jersey, but they're going to raise taxes on everything. Is that what we're hearing? And within the taxes, I don't know. I think this is like one of those pork and barrel riders things. I don't even know if you saw this. Within the budget plan for that, there's a 4-year phase-in of a $15 minimum wage.
Yep.
So by the analysts, the economy analysts, all this, they're saying New Jersey will be completely broke by 2024.
Yeah.
So you got about
It's not far away.
5-6 years to go.
They're going to be
Right.
they're going to be via California, via Illinois.
The amount of
Yep.
illegal immigrants that are going to be flooding those streets is going to be wild.
Yep.
Wild. It really will be California on these.
Yeah.
Like,
It's frightening. It's
so,
frightening.
but I'm sorry, guys, that you have to deal with that nonsense on top of all the snow and on top of all that cold and on top of all the shitty people.
Yep.
Now you have to deal with a financial disaster.
Well,
And
he said it. He said it.
And that sucks because Trump just lowered the taxes for the whole country, but now just in your state, you're probably going to get robbed. Like,
But it's funny because we talked about this. We had discussions about this. This is what. But listen, I despise Phil Murphy. But the one thing I have to take my hat off to the guy is he didn't lie.
no,
he
he
didn't
said
lie.
He was like, I'm going to be a complete scumbag when I come
Exactly.
back.
He said
it,
that.
but he said it, you know,
Right.
in his nice way.
But think about this. People. He said it. The one thing I will say, I don't respect liberals whatsoever. I don't like them. But if I saw Phil Murphy, or any of you saw Phil Murphy, you could say he's a scumbag. You could say but you can't really shit on him because he said exactly what he's doing. He's unlike Obama or Hillary, who lied. I mean,
We're gonna make change.
yeah, we're gonna be the most transparent. They lied. This guy told the truth. He did exactly what he said. He said we're gonna make it a sanctuary state. So what did New Jersey do? Vote him in. He said we're gonna raise taxes $3 billion per year. What did he do? He's raising that.
New Jersey already had the highest taxes in the country.
I cannot
Now
sit
they're
here
raised,
on this podcast with Sal sitting next to me and say Phil Murphy is a liar. He is not.
And it wasn't that standard 0.25%. It was like a full 0.5%.
He said he was gonna.
Oh my God! Like,
So, listen, for all, and I feel bad because
I do and I don't.
well, just like California, when I know sometimes we paint California with this broad paintbrush.
Because we
I
have so
know-
many conservatives.
Right, I know there's so many conservatives in California, and I feel bad for you. And in Jersey, there's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good people in New Jersey, and I will say there's probably a lot of good people in California. Unfortunately, you have these, havens of just shitty. In New Jersey, it's basically your inner cities and then these rich, wealthy bullshit towns like Montclair, Princeton, that want to have that white guilt bullshit that we talked about. California, you have all these liberal jerk-offs in Hollywood and up in Silicon Valley
It's
that
like
just lost their mind.
in Jersey, they go crazy about this. I was gonna get racial. I'm not gonna go there.
No, okay, but that's it. And so Phil Murphy is a lot of things that I don't like, but he ain't a liar. And for that, I got to give him props.
Yeah.
The people.
Captain Shithead didn't lie.
Right, and the people who should be ashamed of themselves are you people in New Jersey or parents who didn't vote, because you could have easily voted this guy out. So I don't want to hear if you are a parent in New Jersey or you own a home and you're a taxpayer and you didn't vote. If you look at the numbers, 23 to 24% voted of the entire voting block. That's sad. That means you could have easily, if you didn't learn anything from President Trump getting in, that voting does matter. Don't ever tell me it doesn't, because in the biggest election of our lifetime, we won because everyone got out to vote. Unfortunately, in New Jersey, people didn't feel like it was necessary, or they might have said, "Oh, there's a shitty candidate." That's not a good enough excuse. That's why now you have this guy in here who is going to kill the state.
And a lot of my friends work in New York up there.
Yeah.
So if we're getting texts from New York,
That's what I did. That's what I did.
I look
killed.
I'm like, they must be making a lot of money, because I don't get how they can even do it. I don't get it.
My tax rate was like 48.8%.
It's got to be around the same.
I was killed. Why do you think I'm sitting here talking to you in Florida, 1,300 miles away? Because I couldn't. The lifestyle was killing me. It was fucking killing me. I was bleeding. It was like, it wasn't a slow. It was like cutting my wrist and just let me bleed out. Like financially, I was bleeding out. I was just getting, because I had to pay New Jersey State, federal. I had to pay FICA, which is
that Frank from The
Godfather. Right. And then I had to pay New York City, New York State. It was destroying me. But anyway,
it was between the brothers.
Yeah. Enough about taxes. Let's talk about something that hasn't been getting much play in the media, except a little bit here and there. But in North Korea, Kim Jong-il, I'm sorry, that's his dad. Kim Jong-un said that he wants to sit down with President Trump and talk about denuclearization. And South Korea made the announcement last week, like towards the end of the week on Thursday. People, that is huge. And of course, the plans have to come to fruition, but it's a great start. Of course, they're not going to meet in North Korea. They're going to meet at a neutral site. And it's something that's going to be played out. We'll see, but it's a great start. But the thing that I love, and I heard some people saying, "Oh, nothing's happened," but we talked about some, a bunch of podcasts ago. Military might and strength produces peace,
yes,
not war. And it's
a deterrent.
It's a deterrent, exactly. We've seen it happen time and time again. I can go into a million examples of all about it. Happened with Reagan, happened all the time. It happened with Bush even the one time. But all the people who talked about, all the liberals, I should say. I don't want to talk about people. Liberals. All the liberals in media who said, he wasn't polite enough. He tweeted too much. He called him Rocket Man. He was nasty. He wasn't diplomatic. They're all wrong again. It's amazing how many times these assholes are wrong and they never admit to it. They just continue. That's why if anyone listens to any of these people, you either have to be brain dead or you just got your head stuck so far up your ass, you can't wait the shit out of your ears. Because I could probably name 10 to 12 times in 1 year they've been wrong. And there's another one. And they're wrong.
Hundreds of times.
Hundreds
of
times.
We're talking about
hundreds.
Every day they're wrong.
Something. And the reason we are, and this is something a liberal will never be able to answer, because I've had this debate, is why are we at this problem with North Korea now? You know why we're there? Because your hero, Bill Clinton, he gave $150 billion to Kim Jong-il, the little rocket man's dad. He gave him 2 nuclear reactors, gave it to him, and then he said to them, play nice with us now. So now you have a person who was either like wink, wink, play nice with us and get paid off, or somebody who's just naive as shit and thought that, that he could just do that. But that's why we are. And listen, Obama did the same thing with Iran.
Yeah, with Iran. They did it with Iran. He's doing it with the Palestinians. He tried to give them, $100 million. Remember that came out?
Didn't work for shit.
Didn't work. Thank God I got reneged.
Yeah, didn't work for shit.
Oh, my goodness.
It didn't work for anything. But I don't know if you saw this video, and we're on the same theme of liberal lies, like our opening Sal put up there said. Think about this, how disgusting this is. there's a video out there where ICE is arresting this woman named, her name is Luna, her last name. And as she's getting picked up, she's screaming, she's crying, she's yelling about her children.
I saw this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the left is portraying this, or the media and the left are portraying this as an innocent woman being taken away from her kids, and ICE is bad. And then after this video went out, Sal's favorite person, Kamala Harris, came out and said that ICE needs to be dissolved. And I think she even used something along like she compared ICE to a terrorist network, which is mind-boggling.
She's part of the terrorist
Right,
network.
she is. But they're portraying this woman as a victim. However, after scrubbing and researching this woman, not only did the media do it, I did it myself. This woman, guess why she's being picked up? She has a long history of trafficking humans from Mexico to California and getting paid for it. She actually became wealthy from it.
It was actually last week a video came out about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Just,
Right.
I mean, there was just Mexicans pouring out of that 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, I couldn't even explain how close quarters they must have been in there. Like,
and people, that is complete exploitation of these. Now, I feel bad for the Mexicans that want to come here over the border.
those people are slaves. They're getting
Slaves.
sold. Like,
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Sal's hit the nail on the head. Don't think that they just pay their.
they're not trying to come here to live a better life. They're getting sold. Like,
Correct. And guess what? When they come here and work, illegally, they probably have to pay 90% of their salary back to where they get killed. And that's horrible. And this woman, the media is not telling you that. And she is a disgusting piece of shit.
This is to go with this. This is a little side story. I wish I would have paid more attention to it, but I saw some Chinese restaurant. I'm pretty sure it was in New York. Definitely up north.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Oh, dude, I couldn't watch it.
They all were trafficking in all the China people, like, and
Ugh.
treating them like slaves
It
and
was
stuff.
horrible.
And I knew it. I knew it because I remember going out to dinner with Rashid one night, and we went to a Chinese place, and it was in the middle of whatever. I was looking, I was like, how did they get all these authentic Chinese people? I was like, these people don't even speak English. I was like, where did they come from? And I said it then. I was like, man, I think these are all trafficked people, slaves.
They're trafficked people.
And like, none of them had smiles. None of them were happy. I was like, something's wrong here, man.
People
Something's
are
really
They're
wrong.
working for free because they're giving it to the Chinese mob or some criminal, gang
I mean,
entity.
we were joking about it at dinner, but it was real, I think.
And on that same theme of illegals that we're talking about, I don't know if you saw this video. It was great. Today, President Trump, or yesterday, I think it was today or yesterday, whatever, met with an ICE agent who's, Border Patrol agent, who's been working with them since 1992. So he's been there quite a long time. He's been there basically 25 years plus. And he was in San Diego, and him and President Trump were on camera, and he talked to President Trump about the atrocities and the horrificness of all these illegals just flooding over into California, Southern California. And what he did was these guys built. I don't know how they did that. These guys are Border Patrol agents, but they built a wall out of scrap metal, and they made it high enough so it wasn't easy to climb, but not because they wanted to make it this way, just because of what they had at their disposal to build with. But if people tried to jump over it, the thing wobbled, and it was like they were going to fall over, but they just couldn't jump over it. And they couldn't lean anything on it. So long story short, President Trump said, since you built this, was it helpful? And the guy said, President Trump, you will not believe that once we built this, 95% of the people that were coming over were not able to. He said, there are some that did. He goes, and President Trump said, wait a second, that scrap metal fence that you guys built by your hand, just piece by piece. And the guy said, yes. He goes, so your wall will make amazing differences. And so the media didn't want to talk about that. They're kind of like saying, oh, well, you could just get a fence. A ladder and jump over the fence. And it was just.
Yeah, they're bringing ladders with them.
Yeah, exactly. 30-foot ladders are just.
That's what they need. They're trekking through the desert trying to make it to freedom. Yeah, they're going to bring ladders.
So I guess my point of the story is that a wall will work, no doubt. So if a fence that was 12 feet high, that was rusty, about 95, this is from the Border Patrol who's actually working there. He said it. Watch the video. These people these liberals just find it ridiculous. But speaking of, we're jumping back and forth between President Trump, Hillary, Obama, and all these other corrupt people. Murphy from Jersey. There's something that I've been doing some investigating on, and there's something called the National Security. It's the National Security Group, and the name you think is an honorable name. Then you find out that 50 former Obama affiliates or colleagues of his have formed this coalition. And they're in, I don't know, I guess they're being funded by Soros. I could not find out who funds them, but I will guarantee you, probably by Obama, the DNC. But they are sitting in, and all they're doing is day in and day out. Think about people doing this. 8 to 10 hours a day, their job is to undermine President Trump and what he does and make up bullshit, lie stories, propaganda, rhetoric about him. And people, a former agency of this government that is no longer in power is trying to do this that's treason, that's sedition. This is ridiculous. And when I hear shit like this, it makes me basically lose my mind. And then we also find out, and I'm gonna turn over to Sal and get his opinion on it. We also find out that back in the day, when President Obama was running against Mitt Romney, he built the same fake dossier that Hillary did against Trump. And the only reason why he didn't use it, he had it. The only reason why he didn't use it is because he won. And if he had lost, he said he was going to do it. So the only differentiating point is that he paid a little over $3 million to Fusion GPS for his doc, whereas Hillary paid $12 million because she had a lot more money. Because I guess she stole a lot more than he did at the time. But
Mitt Romney might actually be the worst candidate.
I think McCain is worse than him.
Ever. And you can't put a Mormon up against anyone.
Yeah.
Just knowing the backstory of the Mormon religion, you got to fucking report it.
The big thing I had about Romney, and I discussed it, and I'm not going to rehash it too much, but and I'm going to talk about this. This goes to show you what happened there. But Romney's not a dumb guy. He had a good business. He made a lot of money. He's a smart individual. He went to good school.
I'm saying nothing about that. I'm just saying.
Right. But the one thing about Romney that if you watched how that all played out was he was brilliant. I'll never forget. I was driving down the Jersey Shore the night of the debate, and I had the radio on. I listened to the whole thing, and then when I went home, I rewatched it because I wanted to see video of it. He literally destroyed. He chopped Obama's legs off. Well, he was so great on that first, and I was actually kind of pumped up. I remember getting to my buddy Scott and Dina's house down in Ortley and being like, wow, man, Romney came, he brought it. And then all of a sudden, I watched the second, the third, and the fourth. And it wasn't even the same guy. It was some guy who just kind of came in. He got real meek.
They told him, like, listen, do you want lots of gangbangers in Utah? Do you want this to happen? We can send them there. They can live there, too.
And listen, that's not a conspiracy theory. I completely believe what Sal's saying.
That's hypothetical, but it's so true, probably.
Still something along, or,
they had to do something to him to make him roll over.
He rolled over like a dead man. And I was like, wait a second. How could a guy be so on his game the first one out? And then he probably, I think if you
black people could be Mormons too, man.
And I also think that probably the numbers came out after the first debate and were like completely reversed. Like, if the media said that, Obama had a landslide victory after, going into the first debate of, 60-40, I bet you he knocked 10 to 12 points off that number easily. And then all of a sudden, second, third, and fourth, like Sal said. So that just goes to show you Obama's been dirty, has been dirty. He isn't shit. He's a dirty player like all the rest. I always call him, know what I love doing? I love the liberals hate this. I don't even call him Obama anymore. I always call him the Muslim, or I call him Hussein, and I make them lose their minds. That's when they call me a racist. And I go, isn't that his name? Isn't his name Hussein? And they go, well, yeah. I'm like, then how am I? I'm like, listen, Barack is even a shitty name. Like, so I'll call him either, but I call him the Muslims. Like, and make them lose
I'll reiterate from the last podcast. So we wouldn't elect a guy named Kittler.
Right.
It just wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen. And then we talked about crazy people. He talked about this woman who stole $750 million. We talked about Hillary being crazy. We talked a little bit about some, crazy people in general, like Obama and stuff, Bill Clinton. But I got to tell you, Nancy Pelosi has been the poster child for lunacy,
for Alzheimer's.
And let me tell you, she's phenomenal. She is great. I love her. I love Nancy Pelosi. From her during the State of the Union moving her mouth like she was chewing on some kind of cocaine, or
she was jawing.
Yeah, she was jawing like she was doing some lines, or she had to go like this with some cocaine because She knows she was flipping out. But what
that devil's dangerous.
But what she just said just now is so incredibly beautiful. If you're someone on a conservative viewpoint, she came out and said that every morning she eats nails. Every morning she tried to be real tough. Every morning, Sal thinks it's her fingernails, but she spends way too much money on her manicures to do that. But this is what she said: every morning I eat nails for the American people, and I don a suit of armor to fight inequality that President Trump does to minorities and women and gays. And I had to laugh my ass off to that because I'm like, wait a second, Nancy, what the hell are you talking about? First off, the thing when Nancy Pelosi wakes up for breakfast, the thing she's probably deciding is not what nails to eat. She's probably either deciding she's home in California, what specialty omelet her chef is going to make her and her family, or she's in D.C. where her limo driver is going to take her. Does she feel like having some bagel and lox at the Ritz-Carlton, or does she want some champagne and caviar at the Four Seasons? It's ridiculous. And when she says like this, how is she not called out? Just makes me laugh. But I love Nancy Pelosi.
Well, she's like the leader. That's why they don't call her out, right?
Yeah. Oh, she don't say. But I love her because she gives you so much ammunition. Just completely abuse her because she's such a friggin' idiot.
Oh god. Yeah, she's one of those old timers that's still in there that you just love. Like I gotta look at video of when she was young and when she got in there. What the hell did she say to get into office?
I just think being a liberal Democrat in California
just doesn't even matter. You got to have a D next to your name.
Yeah, that's it. Well, think about like we talk about all the time. Look at some of these. I mean, I don't know if you heard this one. This Attorney General Becerra, he's the Attorney General of California. He told Trump to watch his back if he ever comes to California. Could you imagine a standing Attorney General from any state telling Obama if he comes to their state to watch his back?
Obama would have droned them, without a doubt.
Exactly. That just goes to show you how completely California. Listen to my California friends out there. I'm really sorry you guys got to live out in that.
Sorry for all our Jersey fans.
Yeah, this is how nuts these people are out in this government out there. But to elect these people in New Jersey, in New York, in Connecticut, in Illinois, in California, these bastions of liberalism. It's just insane. It's insanity. It's just the same shit happening over and over.
We see too, like New York got gentrified just like LA did. And as soon as the gentrification happened, that's when they started imposing all those stupid laws. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think drinking soda and stuff like that is healthy or whatever. But to ban it, come on, like. So are we crazy now? Like
it's like our regular. It's like
they take away the stupidest things, right. And it's just like they're just chipping away at your freedoms. Like
I listen. I may not drink soda. I don't want to ban it. I may do certain things. Exactly. I don't want to ban. I don't want to ban anything that people have the just choices to do.
Choice.
It's their choice. Listen, if
you want to drink a huge big gulp and kill yourself young,
right?
Do it.
Like whatever happened to taking personal responsibility? The liberals want to take all that out of the mix, only for us, for them. Because it's the same argument you have when you like. I also love when you get people like Hillary Clinton or Pelosi or any of them coming out against the 1%. Think about that, people. They are the 1%.
Every time that kills me.
How insulting is that to any person they say that to? And no one ever calls them out. I heard it the other day where someone said, Pelosi, where do you work? And she just ignored them because that's what they do. Because they have their little minions set up to eliminate people like that. But for anyone who even supports or follows them you got to be some kind of brain dead because the people that they are shitting on, it's them. The ones they say don't drive SUVs because of global warming, they're taking their private jets everywhere. It's the hypocrisy is disgusting. And if you follow them, I would love to have a debate with someone who does because I have so much ammunition. It's like my pet peeve. It drives me fucking nuts when I hear this shit. It drives me crazy. Is there anything else?
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
I only got one more thing, and I'm going to end this on a pro-Trump thing. But it was something that there's a guy who's the head of the United Steelworkers in America. His name is Gerard, and he came out, and for the first time in 60 plus years, the AFL-CIO, the American Steelworkers, said, "Hey, listen, President Trump and his tariffs is helping our people a lot. Like in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area, in West Virginia, people were producing these aluminums, coal, and steel. He's helping them, these union guys, and they said, we're tired of coming out every 4 years where we are promised this, that, and the other thing by the Democrats. They get all our votes and they do nothing but screw us. Nothing.
I'm gonna go more about like when Trump was talking to the steel workers. I don't know if you guys watched that little speech, whatever the hell that was even called. But he was talking about some of the things I talked about a while ago about the coal, we make the strongest steel here, and that's why we need to use our coal.
Yep.
He was talking about the cheap steel that we get from China,
it's horrible.
and how it's not even like usable.
No,
it breaks, and it still shouldn't break.
No,
and he said, and they're just happy. I was like, all right, Trump's listening to us.
Right. Well, it's something and this guy saying that now, the Democrats are up in arms because think about that. If you have a voting block for 60 plus years, what happens is like anything else in life, you take them for granted. And unfortunately, if you're fucking idiots like these union guys, 40 years ago, I would say, wait a second, we keep voting for these people and you keep getting shit on. And who's getting rich? No,
the top of the union guys.
Top of the union guys. Not the union workers are struggling. They're the middle class guys getting shit on.
See you later, Jimmy Hoffa.
Exactly. The union executives are the guys getting rich, not the low guys who are working on the lines every day. And so now they're finally coming out and saying, wait a second, this is helping us. We need to wake up. And that goes for everything. And now I'm imploring you teachers to do the same because you're getting screwed to a smaller degree, just like the union guys have been for years. And that's a fact. But so true. With that being said, we out. It's getting late. Sal and I got to have some dinner.
Sal Sharpton.
Out. Gary Gabagool, my boy Sal out. And thanks for all of you. And we're going to talk to you next week. Have a great evening. Good night.
Put a spell on me. I waited until that to end it.
Dude, that was great.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
About an hour even.